I just want to know, right? Like, the lo-fi trip hop girl, like music to study to chick, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if she failed?
You know, considering as long as she studied, that would be depressing as all hell.
Right? Like, that chick has been studying 24/7, 200 days. Like, how long has she been going?
I think the actual stream is 140 days long.
Yeah.
And it's
you
like...
have been I don't even think I've studied that much when I took my master's.
I never studied, but I was like that. I was that one hateable child that would never study for a test and would somehow get a really good grade. And then the days he studied, he failed. I was very bad at retaining information, but I was very good at figuring shit out. But no, like, you know what's funny when you say that? Because it made me remember, like, that moment when the Lo-Fi Girl got, like, copyright struck by YouTube and was removed, and it made me thought, oh, Jesus Christ. I guess it's just gone now. But then then I heard she got put back, thankfully, so that's pretty awesome.
Can you imagine being the dude who pushed the button on Lo-Fi Trip Hop Girl?
I can imagine that. Because it's not a guy, it's always a fucking bot. Love a Lo-Fi Girl looks like one of my college friends. Oh, cool. She looks like she's got that college aesthetic. Like if like Studio Ghibli was in the modern era and you just stayed in the back and just watched her study. I actually do think like there was a point when the stream actually stopped running. Finally, when it ended, there was a lot of art where she actually finally took the test.
Yeah, and like her parents were like, "Oh, we're so proud of you," and I loved how because I was also like looking at that, like all of it was just like super wholesome.
I wish I had that growing up because that's just wonderful. I would have enjoyed school if that was the case.
Supporting parents.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, guess it's a sad podcast today.
It's always a sad podcast when I'm on board, Lasse. Buckle in. But regardless, though, like, self-deprecating jokes aside, like, I just have like it warms my heart to see like everybody rally around like Lo-Fi Girl when her stream got taken down by YouTube. There's just like it's amazing what people can do when like an anime girl is in trouble.
Oh yeah. Ties can tear, and then all of them are just like come out of the woodwork. Nah, I'm gonna Mamoru Lo-Fi hip hop girl.
Claudia, I was just gonna say we started so light. Claudia, your life is like a black comedy the gods themselves enjoyed. Oh hell yeah! I did tell you it was gonna be lighter than last week. It's not. I didn't say it was gonna be light all the time. But no, howdy. y'all, calm down. What you writing there, Lasse?
Well, I just like the title Mamoru Lo-Fi Hip Hop Girl.
Well, you know what? What a way to start the fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good title though. But anyway, how you doing, my friend?
I'm dying.
How you enjoying this fucking heat?
All right, so funny story actually, because I texted you like half an hour ago or something, because okay, I'm gonna tell this as a story, so it's a little long. So when I was working way back when for that company that I wasn't too fond of, back in January, I had been contacted by my current job about like, hey, you want to come back? And so I had to like rush after work to get to that office and talk with the boss to talk about me coming back and shit. And to do that, I had to use my bike. I hadn't used my bike in a while because everything was within walking distance. And then once I settle up on my bike and I'm ready to go, all of a sudden it just says cling, and my fucking chain just doesn't want to go anymore. It's just fucking done. Oh shit! And then I had to walk and take a bus and run just to make it to the office. So that was great. Anyway, so that happened. Then today is the last day that we were going to be in that office because like they're shutting everything down. And so on my way home, in the middle of like an intersection, as I'm about to like kick off after a red light, I feel some resistance, and then all of a sudden no resistance at all in the pedals, and it turns out that the chain on my bike has just fucking exploded.
Oh god.
Yeah, these fucking strong ass legs was too much for the chain. So I had to drag my bike all the way home, which is like 40 minutes in 42 degree hot smeltering weather. So I'm fucking dying because that was hot as shit. And you will oftentimes see me with my trusty little tissue here dabbing my fucking forehead because I'm bald, so there's no hair to soak up any sweat, so it's just gonna fucking run down my face. But yeah, it's really hot. Fortunately, not as hot as it is in England, where it is so hot that they have started painting the railroad tracks white because that way they absorb less heat.
Oh, no, I saw that, and everything's bad in England, like, especially. It also makes all those fucking news stories really unfortunate when they were trying to get people to, run out into the summer. Oh, it's 40 degrees out. Perfect beach weather. Which,
people are dying.
Yeah. Actually, I actually found this out because we both have friends in England at the moment, in the middle of actual hell, where like the houses there are very used to absorbing heat, because I'm assuming they have bad winters up there, or the sun never existed. It used to be a meme that it was always cloudy in UK. No sun. What the fuck is that big shiny thing in the sky? And now it's just there forever.
At least for now.
For now, hopefully. I'm pretty sure. I'll send some clouds that way and help them, because I actually care about friends.
With the pot. Have you ever been laying in bed during the hot summer, and you're like you cannot fall asleep without any sort of covers over you, but if you take some covers over you, you're gonna die.
Oh yeah, this is why we got blackout curtains.
Because I have blackout curtains, they don't work for shit with the heat. But then again, I am in the top apartment of an apartment complex, and heat goes upwards. So it's a fucking sauna.
Oh yeah, no, that's how what we've been kind of dealing with at the moment, because our apartment's on the second floor, and the best we could do is handle the blackout curtains, and we have it in my room, and we have blackout curtains set up in the fucking little office area that I gave to my roommate. And unfortunately, we only have one AC, so we decided to put it in our room. So my room, our room, because we're just sleeping there at the moment, because I'm not going to make my fucking roommate die, because they're already dying in the middle of the day. So for the majority of this summer, we've just been held up in this room, going back and forth with the iPads, and maybe cooking some like sausage and eggs or whatever we have in the fridge. Because wow, fuck this sun, it is awful and terrible.
We like I said, we had like the last day in our office today. Speaking of food, and so we decided, fuck it, we're not gonna have lunch inside. So we took like a panini maker and a pack of sausages and bread, and then we like drove our office chairs outside, took a little table, the panini maker, and all this food, and then we just sat out in the heat making hot dogs and drank beer. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Like, what are they gonna do? Fire us?
Well, exactly. What are they gonna do? Not really. Just like, I mean, at this point, might as well. I would say it's like fucking abuse to go to work when it's this goddamn hot.
Oh, our offices are cool as shit. Like, to the point where at one point I was honestly thinking of like putting on a sweatshirt. I don't know how they managed to do it, but that office is cool as shit. Or cold as shit.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
It's probably got some really good insulation. Then damn.
It is harder if we open a door and like let the warm air in.
Oh,
shit's wild.
Shit's wild. It's like a reverse igloo.
Yeah, you know.
I love it. Because you think of like how an igloo is structured, like the way it's funny, haha, mixing snow, but the way it works is like it's very good at trapping heat inside of it and keeping the cold out of it. So, you set a little fire in your igloo and you're all nice and warm and toasty. And as the opposite here, you have this big old fucking apartment building. It's like you have the ACs at full blast, trapping cold air inside of it, and then you walk outside and you're literally melting. That like. You feel sweaty. It's not just sweat. It's just the frost that built on your body melts all off at once.
I honestly never understood how an igloo works. For me, it was always like the most insane thing in the world. Hi, I have a house of ice. Now watch me make a fire. What the fuck?
It's it has something to do. Listen, it's been an actual decade since I've actually had to think about physics in a non-anime context. But it has something to do with like the air basically holding up all the heat and it being diffused, and because it is so fucking cool in the area, the fact that the end is so cool outside, it's kind of like meeting in the middle so it doesn't melt entirely. What the fuck do Mexicans know about igloos? I'll have you know I'm Puerto Rican, and not much, but I live in Massachusetts, so I made one time.
And he's currently schooling a Dane. A fucking Viking.
Vikings didn't need igloos. They just stood in the snow with their shirt off, with them those fur kilts with their balls hanging out. They didn't need to worry about igloos like some scaredy cat.
They were basically just like, hey, I need shelter. Oh, look, a house over there. Guess it's mine now.
It's mine now. The Vikings are the fucking tits, bro. I love Vikings.
That actually, I didn't really think I was going to talk about it, but that leads me nice and easily into something that I can talk about, which is that I've been going through Vinland Saga.
See, that has been on my list forever since I found out they got to that point of the I don't know if you call it a time skip, but they reached a certain place and now now shit's gonna go fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But yes, no, talk to me about it because I don't care about spoilers. I want to know what's going on and I want to know what to get excited for.
Honestly, I don't know what to think of it.
Really?
Yeah. It's okay. I think if you are not, because we've established this a bunch of times, I have taken permanent damage being a reviewer. So I pick up on things that honestly you shouldn't. And I think if you have that mindset, there's a lot of things in it that are just wonky. For one, it's very accurate, like historically. It's always just going, hey, then this shit happened, and the Vikings were over here, and then like they took over this part of the country, and to the point where it's almost like the pacing of the comic is definitely the worst thing, because sometimes it will just like go on a long, extensive TED talk about like, oh, hey, is it not true that we are currently in Ireland, which in 4 years are gonna get taken over by the Celts, and because we are here 400 miles from this location, like, you know, like, it is so well researched that it just takes the plot and puts it in a little like space over here, so it can talk about how historically and geographically accurate it is, which, you know, to be fair, is very commendable and pretty hype if you are interested in history. But I'm more of a plot guy, so for me it's like, okay, is it important to the story? It never is. It like,
never is.
No. All of these extra things are like, oh, how far are we from the Celts or from Ireland? It's like, it never fucking matters. But I got that information now, I guess. So it goes there, and it you know, it takes like this super realistic approach, where, oh, hey, this thing is super rad, and then you have dudes who are literally swinging around tree trunks, like, on you know, like, nothing's done with it. It hasn't been chopped up or anything. It's just literally a tree trunk, and he's just swinging 2 of them around at the same time, throwing them at ships, and like breaking down the ships with one throw of these tree trunks. And it's like, so are we fantasy or are we realism?
It is. I heard there was like some weird mysticism religion shit with like people being able to see into the future, and then like it gets wild at some point. I need you to like fact check that for me, because I'm only talking about hearsay what I've heard about Vinland Saga. But from what I understood, it's like if you know how Dr. Stone was like written by a fucking science nerd and they go do all this mumbly mumbo jumbo? This is a manga made by like a history buff.
Yeah, oh yeah. And again, if you're into history, it is super fucking fascinating how accurate it is. Like, I had no fucking idea that the Romans apparently like were around here somewhere, but apparently they fucking were, which is cool. But as a story, I feel like it could be better. So apparently the anime fixes a lot of these issues. But in the manga, you have a I'm gonna dance around it because I really don't want to spoil it. Even like, I know you used to say you don't care, but there might be people listening to this who do care. When you first start the comic out, it's very much like, here's Thorfinn, and he's our protagonist because bad shit happens, and now he wants to get revenge. All right, cool. That and like we get we start in medias res, as in we start currently in the present, like in the middle of something, and then after that we take a flashback to then explain why our hero is like he is. I got some very maybe because I'm working on that video, I got some big Berserk vibes from it, because like, oh, you got the start and now you are going way back to young innocent protagonist to find out why he ended up being as fucking pissed as he ends up being. And then
Vinland Saga is in the middle of its golden age right now.
Yeah, well, at the of where I'm summarizing it right now. So it goes back and it explains all this about like why Thorfinn is as he is, and so like as it has done now, it is very much establishing this is Thorfinn's story. He's our protagonist. This is and he's going to be our vehicle that is going to take us through this saga. We are going to experience this saga through Thorfinn, which is cool. The problem is that the comic forgets that he exists.
Ooh.
For the longest fucking time, the comic focuses on everyone besides Thorfinn, to the point where when he is at the precipice of being able to exact his revenge, he doesn't get to do it because Thorfinn is somewhere off screen, and it's just like it honest to God feels like the author was like, fuck, shit, I forgot Thorfinn. Get him in here. And then he enters and is like, he's there for 3 pages while the dude he wants dead is dying, and then the end, and then we get a time skip. Like, yes. I cannot stress enough how little Thorfinn matters in the grand scheme of things.
But I'm not gonna lie, these are the exact feelings I felt for like the late chapters of Hajime no Ippo. Because the thing happens and Ippo becomes super not relevant, and literally everyone else does. Which, I guess to be fair, there's a reason for it. I never liked it, and that still bugged me. So I'm glad that like you got to experience that whole fuckery of feelings. It's nice that everyone else, that the supporting cast gets to be important and overshadow the main protagonist.
But
and then here's the impetus of the whole story. Let's forget about it and look at these super cool guys instead. But
I feel that there's a right way of doing it and a wrong way. I'm not like saying this to defend Hajime no Ippo, but I feel that it is better to start your scope at, hey, here's this dude, he's our vehicle, and then as you progress, you widen the scope, so we can now take in these characters that we have learned and gotten interested in through osmosis as we are experiencing them through the protagonist. Whereas with Vinland Saga, it starts out with, hey, he's super important, and then like almost immediately after, it's like, no, actually, he's not important. So it's like, okay, then who the fuck am I gonna be interested in? Because the driving force is that you want to see Thorfinn get revenge. You don't. You're kind of like put in the middle of all these other characters' story arcs, so you don't understand what drives them, what's the motivation, like why you should care about them. So you're just like left there going, when the fuck is Thorfinn coming back? Because it feels like when you're with your friend at a party, and your friend is like, hold my drink, I gotta go take a piss. And you're standing there with 2 drinks and looking around, you don't know anyone, and you're just like uncomfortable waiting for that person to come back. That's what the beginning of Vinland Saga is.
Okay. That's gonna be a bit of a hurdle to get through, but I'm willing to go through to see what's going on. How far are you into Vinland Saga? Like, you've caught up, right?
No. So, I am like 100 or something chapters in.
Okay, so like I'm hoping like this problem feeling gets resolved later on then. So that's good to know.
It definitely feels like, and I talked with Raj about this, because Raj loves Vinland Saga to death, and honestly, again, I can definitely understand it, because when it works, it really fucking works.
Hell yeah.
There's a quote in that I just think is amazing, which is the whole thing of, listen, you don't have any enemies, there is no one that you need to hurt, and I love it because they keep repeating it, they keep coming back with it, and it definitely, so as you mentioned before, some stuff happens and then there's a time skip, and it definitely and so Raj mentioned how it was basically just that the author wanted to get this prologue of such out of the way, and he wanted it to happen within a set amount of chapters, because that amount of chapters is apparently what is the norm of most Nordic sagas. I can neither deny nor confirm that, but apparently that's a thing. And so after that, it feels more focused, and Thorfinn is definitely like more in the foreground. It does focus more, some on a guy called Canute, which is a king. And I think I don't know my history, but I think it's actually wrong. I think it's Knud and not Canute. And it's
it might be a translation issue.
Yeah, so. Maybe. But it does focus on him a little bit, which, you know, again, it's I'm here for Thorfinn. I don't care about this. But the thing is that, like, again, this is a history buff, and so like he really just fucking goes in on hey, the fucking taxes of England are fucked, so we need more we need to tax things more so we can get more money to finance our army, because we need that to take over this other fucking place. And like, I summed it up pretty fast here, but this is like 2 chapters worth of just people talking about fucking taxes. So like they go extremely into depth with that. And my biggest gripe with the comic, like in all of its glory, is that so it spends this long on these, I would call them unnecessary fluff. They're like, you don't need them. They're nice to have, but ultimately you don't you can just go, we need more money, essentially, right? Yeah. And then there is this whole side plot that has been going on ever since the prologue of this dude called Leif, who is looking for Thorfinn, because Thorfinn kind of like disappears after the thing that makes him want to get revenge happens. And so he meets him, and just before the time skip, and then we don't know why, but Thorfinn just disappears. We don't know how he disappears. We don't know why he managed to disappear. How he managed to disappear without Leif like keeping track of him. But the time skip happens. I think it's like 4 years or something. And throughout these 4 years, Leif has continued his search for Thorfinn. He's been looking all across Scandinavia. He's been traveling as a merchant from country to country, searching far and wide for Thorfinn. He knows that Thorfinn is a slave, so he's like buying slaves off of slavers and like asking around, hey, do you know where Thorfinn is? Because I really need Thorfinn, and yada yada yada. Finally, he finds out where Thorfinn actually is, and they go and see him. Do you want to take a shot in the dark on how many pages are dedicated to Leif finally meeting up with Thorfinn again?
I'm guessing 2 by the sound of your voice.
Okay, you highballed it.
Oh.
You want to take another shot?
It's half.
No.
Okay.
It happens off screen.
Oh no!
I am dead fucking serious when I say that that at one point between chapters something pretty dire has happened, and then I'm reading it, and all of a sudden I see Leif and Thorfinn in the same frame, and I'm like, what the fuck? Hello? And they're just like, they're talking about something completely, like, they're not talking to each other, they're talking like next to each other about to someone about the thing that happened. And I'm like, what? Okay, hold on. Because I'm reading this on, internet. Maybe it skipped a chapter or something. I go and I check and I look, and nope. It is dead fucking, like, I have not skipped anything. It just fucking does this. And then, after the conversation about the dire thing, sure enough, Leif and Thorfinn are having a little heart-to-heart that is less than half a page, going, oh, it's so cool that you found me, Leif. The man has dedicated 4 years of his entire fucking life, and he's an old dude. Like, I think it's pretty, like, major that this guy is willing to use so much of his life looking for his best friend's son, and like using that much money and traveling back and forth. and the fact that we can get 2 chapters, again, I'm exaggerating a little bit about the whole taxes thing, but like so much about taxes, and we cannot get the fucking moment that life's 4-year search finally ends.
Guess goes to show how important the author thought Leif was. I'm assuming it's Leif because it's Leif.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Danish, I knew life.
Okay. Yeah. I knew a friend who was a Gaelic whose name was Leif in middle school. So that's just like a little thing in my head that kind of got ticked. But I'm like, that's so like I'm kind of a guy who, like, I will admit I'm less plot. I do like the idea of world building, but I do recognize when there's way too much. The guy got, I'm pretty sure it was, I want to have a realistic history story so everybody knows how cool this is.
Yeah.
And then, like, you have a story going on, you kind of, like, do something else. It's not serving the story. It's like you have a story and then you have cool history shit. But they're not as together as you'd want it to be. That sounds like a bit depressing, not even gonna lie.
I need to stress that it's like I'm pissing and moaning, but I still can't put the comic down because all of the other stuff is so charming and so well done, and the art is fucking phenomenal. So like if you do like the more world building stuff, then I definitely think that it's for you. And I'm not even saying that it's not for me, but I'm picking up on these things going, okay, this is fucking like I like the comic, but this is fucking, like, this is bad. Like, this is actually fucking, like, trash. Like, this little part here, this is trash. And that little part there, that is trash. So it's one of those things where it goes, like, at a pretty much like a constant 8 or a 9. And then all of a sudden, for like a split second, it takes a fucking nosedive down to a 1 or a 2, and then immediately right back up to 8 or 9. So it's just like, is this really good story? But with moments of absolute fucking garbage. It's so weird.
I suppose it's like, there are definitely some things for some people and not others, but like definitely, if you like history and you like that realism angle, it sounds like it does put the story to great lengths to explain how realistic it is until, somebody picks up a tree.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just so weird because, like, normally you experience the opposite. Like, you will watch some fucking god-awful trash, and then you will have a moment where it's just like, well, this is the coolest fucking thing ever. Like, like you will be watching Spy Kids, and then all of a sudden you will have Steve Buscemi go, you think God stays in heaven because he's afraid of the mistakes he made on Earth or something. And it's like, you go from fucking trash tier bullshit to fucking that.
The line that shaped a fucking generation.
Yeah.
But no, like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, I guess not every story can be perfect unless you're mirrored.
Yeah, unless you're mirrored. Yeah.
I don't know why I wanted to put a T there. I think I'm just thirsty. Hang on. I need a sip.
I would go for a sip too.
Hydrate. It is too fucking hot today.
It is too fucking hot. But yeah, I'm gonna continue reading it, even though, like, I am fucking. So the a clip came out this week about where the Japanese voice actor and the English voice actor for Ichigo are, like, going a little back and forth redoing lines from Bleach in celebration that the anime is coming back. And so and by the way, Johnny Young Bosch has worked on his Bankai, because that thing fucking hit me in the soul. So I've been watching that and been like, man, I really want to get back into Bleach, and I also want to get into Jujutsu Kaisen, but I'm currently in Vinland Saga, and
Yeah.
so it's one of those things where I kind of want to quit Vinland Saga to go read these, but then I'm like, no, you gotta finish it.
Yeah.
Because
like don't be like me. Don't jump between series, because you will start something, get super interested, and then never come back to it because something else caught your attention.
Yeah,
not fun.
And like people are comparing Vinland Saga to the two greats, which is Berserk and Vagabond.
Ooh, yeah.
And if you compare something to either, you're making a bold statement. So to compare it to both, the comic has got to fucking it's got places to go to reach the fucking masterful pinnacle that is Berserk or Vagabond.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. There was a period in time I would always confuse Vagabond with that other series, the one that came after Hellsing, made by the same guy. Strangers. What was it? So that was my biggest mistake, and then I found out what Vagabond actually was, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Drifters, yes, thank you. I mixed up Vagabonds and Drifters because I was a stupid child. And then I saw Vagabond. Well, sorry, I read Vagabond, at least parts of it. And then, I had to come back to it because I have a very... you know how I mentioned you start something, you drop something because something else caught your attention? I have a very bad habit with that. But the small parts I read from the beginning of Vagabond was... Holy fucking shit, it's good. Please read it.
So there's a moment where Musashi has to fight... I think it's 50 people or something. And I remember losing my shit over it because normally in a comic you would have he roars or something, and then he goes in to do the fight, and then it cuts away, and then you return, and then he's defeated all of them or something. No. Vagabond spent 3 chapters just focused, keyed in on this fight to realistically show how Musashi killed 50 people.
This was it's the thing you remember. This is a real legend about Musashi, real life man boy Musashi, fucking killed with not really efficiency. It's like watching Japanese Rambo, to be honest with you, because it kind of has to be. But it's insane. But yes, no, I got sidetracked. But I'm basically saying I understand how fucking prolific, whatever. Yeah. How important series like Berserk and Vagabond are. So that's a big ass bold fucking claim. Honestly, I would feel like Vinland Saga would be closer to Attack on Titan than those two. But that's a big claim. But I guess they're kind of dark, gritty, and they're not dark fantasy, but it's it's hitting that same vibe with some people. Vinland is dark, realistic, gritty.
No, actually, that's a weird thing. It's not.
Yeah.
Vinland Saga is weirdly high spirited, which is fucking weird, because you will have fucking Thorfinn gets punched by his sister. Ha 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 ha, Lemao. Meanwhile, over here, Jimmy is raping someone. It is fucking you will have these really happy, jolly, high-spirited moments where Thorfinn and, oh my god, I fucking forget his name, but his best friend, they are celebrating, oh yay, we plowed the fuck out of these fields, oh, we're so good, and and he has a Einar, his name is Einar, and Einar has a big boner for this chick, and and we're teasing him about it, and he almost chokes in his food, ha 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 ha, oh, that silly rascal. And then fucking no joke, you will have someone going into extremely specific details about like taking turns raping a woman while pillaging the village. It is so fucking like, again, it is weirdly comedic and happy and not very like dark at all, and then all of a sudden it will just like fucking like do a front flip into darkness. It is so weird how it will just suddenly plunge into it.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
Really fucking weird.
Again, it feels like a comic that wants to be everything, but and does both things pretty well, but it doesn't really know what it wants to be specifically.
I see what you're trying. I think I see what you're trying to say. Yeah, I like from the vibe you're trying to give.
Yeah, because like we will have one moment where we want super realism, and then you'll have a guy throw an uprooted tree at a ship. Then you will have we want the personal drama, and then you will have a guy who spent 4 years looking for someone be completely fucking ignored. You will have we want this epic saga of Thorfinn, and then you will fucking throw Thorfinn to the side to focus on the grander scheme of things. We want a dark, gritty realism thing, and then you will just like have people make fucking haha poop dick jokes about food. It's like you're jumping between these two completely different camps constantly.
Huh. When you catch up, I do want to hear more about like Vinland Saga, because I want to see what the hell's going on.
Oh yeah, me
and
too.
what you feel, because it's like I hear like the two things I hear about the series, aside from the words dark and gritty get like thrown around and realistic with Vinland Saga, but I hear like if you take all that and then there's some weird mysticism mumbo jumbo that somebody told me about way later, like towards like the catch up part, and I'm like, where the fuck are they going with this story? What the hell is happening?
There is
when you get
Canute or Knud is actually it's pronounced Knud, but be that as it may. He's haunted by the chopped off head of his dad.
Oh my.
And that works because that it's obviously not there. So you have like that paranormal element. There's a guy who is can go into like super extreme berserk mode, but to do that he has to like eat some special berries or something. So okay, you can kind of like explain that away with him being like just drugged out of his fucking mind on like super berries or some shit. So like it's delved into a little bit of paranormal stuff, but it's always been like reasoned with realism.
Okay. I hear again, like if you get to a part with like somebody seeing the future, I want you to like explain that to me, because it's okay. Thank you. So excited for when you get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimately, like the comic. It has some weird things in it, but ultimately like the comic. Cloudy, while I go and get myself an ice cold Pepsi from the fridge, why don't you tell me about the saga that you have been taking part of this week? Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, there we go. Sorry, I thought you were gonna ask me about my trip to Walmart yesterday. But Final Fantasy 14. I'm gonna say it's not a lot of crazy shit going on. Like I said last week, I am starting. I was at level 15 at the moment.
Yeah, you've been putting in work.
Yeah, currently I'm level 30 in A Realm Reborn. I just finished that one quest where we're talking to like the sprites, the sylphs or whatever, and they were like, I had to learn about emotes, so that was fun.
Isn't it fucking wild that you learn about that through a fucking quest?
Yeah, a mainline quest, which is like, okay, so the sylphs won't talk to you, so you have to do a little dance, and I am so glad I picked Rogadin, Because, like, they're so awkward, and they're like, oh, shit. Okay. And they just, like, put their hands out, and they do this little bear jig, like, and he's, like, stepping back and forth, like, am I doing this right? And then the sylphs are so happy, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. So I'm imagining my boy, just, like, which is, first off, even better, because my beautiful, wonderful roommate gave me some glamour for my armor. Mm-hmm. So I'm basically wearing like a poncho, a cowboy hat, and cowboy boots. I didn't have any pants,
That's
so...
a little racist.
I don't... Probably, but you know what? It's the lack of pants that makes it good. Yeah. But... No, I'm just like, basically, I'm just this big, towering Rogadin, just like going around doing like little one-man square dances with these sylphs, and they all love me, and it's just like, this is so dumb, I love it. Cause everyone has a really cute dance, except for big men don't know what the fuck's going on. I was like, okay, here I go.
Oh yeah, I guess I put 1 foot forward and 1 foot back.
1 foot back. Yeah, like that was just a fun thing to do because I'm like, that's adorable. But majority of it has just been me and my roomie just like bouncing back and forth, learning about the game. They're proud of me because I am not the best DPS. I've only been through like two dungeons and 1 raid against Ifrit, but I'm apparently not a burden on my team, so I'm happy. I know that I'm supposed to either flank the bad guys or clap them booty cheeks because I have 2 positional abilities at the moment and I know how to use them. And I read my tooltips, which is also apparently another thing that people don't do in this game, surprisingly.
Have you gotten to pick your grand company yet?
Yes, I did.
What did you pick?
I picked the Flames. Simply because they were blue.
Okay. So that's all for the podcast today. We're gonna return next week where Claudia's not gonna be here because he doesn't pray to the gun waifu that is Merwhip.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna say factually, she is the best. Yeah. I didn't know, and like my friend, and like my roomie told me, hey, you know you can switch your grand company, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just pick to the one closest to the Waking Sands, because I always have to go back to the fucking Waking Sands!
Fair.
And I'm like, I don't want to do any of this quest shit, so I'm basically speed running Realm Reborn with her. That's how I got, yeah. But no, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm going to be honest. When I went to lick my balls to see her speech, like, out of all of them, like, what was it? A ship, like a ship without a crew is, what was it? It was such a good fucking line, but it's like, it's just a mound of drastic, no. Fuck, what was it? It was so good. It was like, a ship without a crew, or without unity, is just a mass of drowning bodies. And I'm like, fuck. Also, like, I came up with ways to remember the places because I can't read their elven bullshit. There's Uldal in Nanalan. Then there's fucking Limsa Lominsa, which I just call Ligma Balls.
Fair enough.
And what was the last one? Give me a second. Was it Grimdark? No, I forgot. Gridania. Mm-hmm. I had a funny one for Gridania, but now I forgot. Damn it. But then again, I'm not there.
Good thing you have a name for a place so you can remember it, but you forgot that name.
My brain's fucking tired. Listen, Ligma Balls has made the biggest impact on me so far. If they made Monk there, I would have just done it by heart. But yes, no.
Hey, guess where the fucking Lancer has to go? Fucking Gridania.
Ooh.
Fucking shoot me in the mouth. Fuck Gridania. Gridania has Kanazena. And like Alice in the chat says, so Kanazena is that fucking chick in the white robe who looks like a cunt. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something now that's gonna ruin her for you forever. And that is that if you look at her, she has a medallion on her chest that looks like an upside down cow.
No, I saw that too, and I'm like, I hope there's some lore significance to that, because I want to know why.
I think there is if you pick white mates at some point. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I forgot all the way up to Endwalker what her name was, because we just kept calling her Cowgirl.
Cowgirl?
Not like, even, like, the sexual connotation, just, like, because moo cow.
Moo cow. No, I agree. Before you tell me about Kanazena, but I do want to mention, I am going to switch to her company when when I'm done with Realm Reborn, when I'm done with all this shit, and like running between here and the Waking Sands stops being an issue. Mm. Because her speech honestly worked for me. Okay. And I was the most pissed off at Alfonso when he interrupted me. By the way, Lasse, why did you not warn me that I'm dealing with the worst character in this entire fucking game pretty early on? I want to punch him in the face.
Hey, guess who's becoming your fucking like right-hand man?
Okay, excuse me, I'm gonna go uninstall Final Fantasy 14. This is the worst game ever played.
Okay.
I hate Alphino with every fiber of my being. I don't care if you cancel me for that. I hate him.
Nope. You're supposed to.
Good! I'm doing it right then.
He is a fucking cocky, pompous little wankstain.
I hate smug characters. I can enjoy them when they're having fun with it. I love Dio because he like wears it, but like here is Alphino, a smug little prick, and from the moment he like came up to me during all these meetings, like, oh, look at these people not telling, like, oh, they're just trying to talk and do bullshit when none of it really matters. You know what's going on, don't you? This is all a farce. And I'm just looking at him like, who the fuck are you? Who goddamn ass? Are you the bitch that was in the same cart as me when we were being mugged and you did nothing? Shut the fuck up.
I'm a fucking Roken, then I can punt you over this wall.
I might as well. I am a monk. Well, I'm not a monk yet. I am a pugilist. Which, by the way, like, I don't think I finished the pugilist thing. I haven't gotten the rock yet that my roommate has been telling me about to become a monk. But I've gotten the demolish ability from the quest line.
Ooh,
and
good.
It is a good move. I have an extension to my fucking rotation, and I'm having so much fun with monk. But like, it's such a wholesome, dumb story of like, oh, my master's a fucking fraud, but not really. He's just old, and like the two Lalafell siblings, like even though the son's a bastard, he's like, listen, my master is fraud. He's old. I just want him to live, so I'm just gonna do drugs and make a real living and let him just live out without hurting himself.
Yeah.
But oh no, the guy I was with is a fucking bastard, and he's going too far. So I'm gonna go back and be with my family. And I'm like, this is such a simple story, and it's stupid. It's played out a billion times, but that shit's one of my favorite tropes, man. I love Squad. And it's like, oh, you see the family together, and then there's big lumbering Rogan boy. It's like, well, time to throw some fucking hands, and that was fun.
I can't wait for you to experience the end of that quest line, because it's the perfect end to it.
Oh, I can't wait. I thought that was the end because, like, he says, I have nothing more to teach you except for this one skill, and he's like, okay, cool. I guess I'm done.
Did you get the final cutscene, like an actual cutscene?
Probably. I'm not gonna say yes, so don't spoil. Actually, no, spoil me on that because like I'll know when I see it. But it's like oh jeez, my Discord's blowing up at the moment. But sorry, I got distracted. But no, like I'm having fun. I am genuinely having fun. I love being a pugilist. I love like my combo string finally getting faster and faster, and I fucking wish I can punch a hole through Alphino's face. I thought his sister was gonna be better, but she's also kind of a cunt too.
Yeah.
I haven't even learned her name,
Alice.
And I don't like her. Alice, bitch. I don't fucking know.
You know our mutual friend Sebastian?
Yeah.
His cats are called Alphino and Alice. Come on, that's cute as fuck.
Okay. You know, maybe I would have hated them less if they were cat people, because then I would expect it. But something about like a smug elf, just like I don't know, feeds into that gross stereotype I don't like.
Well, you don't have to be a culinarian to serve him a piece of humble pie. Ooh. Okay, so this is actually a good question. Who do you like, if not the twins?
I haven't like made somebody my favorite character yet. Kind of like by default, like I kind of like Thancred because like you meet him in this side. I can see him. I think he's gonna be that rival character you talked about. And it's like it's cool. We're kind of like buddies. We're like, yo, man. This man's starting to like go past me. I have to be better for myself. And again, like I don't know what the fuck's going on.
No.
And I'm just all, like I'm kind of liking him for proximity. Out of the three main company heads, like big Rogadin mom, she's fantastic.
Well, yeah.
I've not found. I cannot pronounce her fucking name to save my life, but I love her. I want you to try to pronounce it so I have a chance.
Merlwip?
What is it? Mulix? Merlith?
Merlwip. I think. Now you got me fucking tripping. Isn't it? Yeah, Merlwip. Merlwip. Like listen, like Cool Whip. Just Merlwip.
Merlwip.
Okay, real quick. And I'm gonna tell you this now because it's kind of like a minor thing, and like it happens way the fuck later from where you are at now. But there's a point in a cutscene where someone is like, "Oh yes, my evil plan is gonna be come to fruition for and like he doesn't get to say anymore because Merlin just fucking pulls a gat and shoots him. That's the kind of bad bitch energy that he has.
Oh, I love her. I love her even more now. So yeah, no, if that happened sooner, I would have probably made her gone to the heartbeat. Fuck the travel. The flames I'm just using because they're close by.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, her company, her speech was the best. Her design is cool. She's like okay. Okay, so it's this very small thing. She tells you because first I went to like the flames guy, then I went to go meet Merlwip, and she says, "Oh, can you tell me something? Can you tell something to the other head when you go to Gridania?" And it's like it's a bit uncouth or like it's not professional, but tell her that the wolf is sniffing around the barn or some shit like that, and. I swear to fucking God, I thought like she was saying, "Oh, yo, I'm this big badass bitch," but yo, go tell my girl that I think someone wants to fuck me, or I want I've got a boyfriend, or I'm pregnant or some shit, and I'm just losing my mind at that, because it's like I don't know, it's another dimension of like, oh, she's like she doesn't give a shit, but no, she does. Like, it turned out the code meant, like, oh, there's actually it means like the Scion finally making their move or some shit. But like the fact that I got a little character piece out of her and I invented that, it was kind of cute.
So
it was a very small moment. Okay, it meant nothing, but it made me like her more.
I totally get you. And the cool thing is, and I think so, I've kind of had Ruby and Raj for a little bit, like telling me like their experience going through Final Fantasy, and but you're the only one that's like really like actually put words to it. In besides, the more superficial stuff. And so I'm kind of seeing now why it is that people love so much to be the people who have actually played the game and seeing people experience it for the first time, because with the power of hindsight, everyone who has played Final Fantasy 14, when they hear you say that Merwip has said, "Oh, the wolf is moving around, sniffing at the barn" or something, we immediately know what that means. And it doesn't mean what you think it means. So it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. they are so the writing in this franchise is fucking bananas to the point where, so you said you fought Ifrit, right?
Yeah, I fought Ifrit. Yeah,
which apparently they pronounce Ifrit, which is wrong. But
I mean, it's like the traditional spelling, but that's not how you say it in the Final Fantasy canon. That's the thing that's fucked up.
I don't know. I'm just making fun. Anyway, during that encounter, a sentence is said that is so earth-shattering massive, and you don't decipher what that means until like 70% through Shadowbringers.
Ooh.
They were planning that far ahead.
It's one of those like it's one of those things I saw in like One Piece that I called an Oda trap, where like it's this little innocuous thing, and you can cope and say, oh, they just watched the earlier cutscenes and decided to make a new fucking thing around it, but in your heart, no, this shit was planned.
Actually, like 100%. This is one sentence where like you have probably not thought about it at all, but it is one of those sentences that it means what it says on the tin. It can only mean that one thing, but you simply, like, at this point, you simply do not have the building blocks to fully comprehend what it is that was said. So it's not. So it is physically impossible to be a thing where it can be like double entendre, and they just like look back and was like, oh, we can actually use this sentence for something. No. This is like that particular piece can literally only be used for this payoff, and they waited until Shadowbringers to do it.
I can't wait to get there. I'm excited.
Go
on. Actually, no. You go on first, and then I'm gonna switch to a different thing I learned.
Okay. It's to the point where we watched a trailer for Final Fantasy 14, Alice and I. Together with Sebastian, who at the time was into Final Fantasy 14. We hadn't even like started it or anything, and they used this reveal in one of the trailers, and Sebastian he's not a calm guy by any means. Like, when he's passionate, he's very, very passionate, but I had never seen this man this passionate. That, like, you could fucking hear the guy standing up and pacing around his fucking apartment, screaming at the top of his lungs, because, like, again, this was so earth-shattering. And like, I cannot wait for it to be your turn. And that reminds me, I hope that your friend, or your roommate, is being very strict about what trailers you watch when.
Okay, so here's the thing. They tell me they do not let me watch much.
Good.
there's like I did a sin and learned one thing preemptively, but that was because of YouTube autoplay. The only thing she showed me are like, you know, the cool like mechanical skill trailers for all the the only one she actually showed me was the skill trailer for Endwalker for everyone's level 90 skills. So holy shit, everyone has cool shit except for the scholar. Fucking rip the scholar. We actually made fun of it because like you told me, wow, everyone has cool capstone skills. Monk is super cool. You just do flashing DBZ thing. I wonder what the scholar gets. You get to run faster.
The cool thing is, like, I saw when they revealed that trailer, I saw like a video on Twitter where it was like everyone and their cool gap closer move. Like you had the monk that would like almost like teleport in like DBC style.
We get 3 teleports, by the way. Fuck yeah.
You would have the samurai, which would like do like the cool like dashing forward / thing, and like you have like this very bombastic Final Fantasy music, and then like it just goes completely silent as you see the clip of the scholar just walking forward. and the best part is that it's a little Lalafell, so it's just like this little fucking midget with a small little feet going beep 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 beep.
Like, we were just watching this thing. We were like, man, it sucks to be a scholar, bro.
I'm a scholar. Fuck me.
I'm sorry, bro. You know what's funny? She's playing a scholar right now. First, she's doing like the scholar summoner thing, going back and forth. Because like I didn't realize when you level one, you level the other, which makes sense.
I told you last week.
Oh yeah, you did. But you're right, she did. It's just she did the whole explanation a little bit more, because I'm wondering why the fuck is that a car? Like, what the fuck is a carbuncle? And I learned what a carbuncle was. But just going into a thing where I accidentally found out for myself. I learned a little bit about Louis Soir. Not very much. Okay. I'm just gonna give a little bit of context. Every Tuesday, I have a very small campaign for Stormbringer, which is like a D&D thing for giants, yada yada yada. And like as I'm doing my notes, my roommate looks like, oh, this motherfucker looks like Louis Soir, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like who dat? And she's like, oh, nothing, don't need to worry. It's just like one of the names you heard during the trailer. It's probably not important. And like, while I'm watching some videos learning how to do my monk combo better, an autoplay comes up, and it's this scene where you have Louis Soir versus Bahamut. So I see, who the fuck's this frail-ass old man? And then he just fucking pulls a goddamn, Asura's Wrath, turns into Super Saiyan, flies to the moon, spreads them cheeks, and fucking blows a hole through Bahamut. And I'm like... And my roommate catches me at the end of the trailer, and she's like, fuck.
Yeah. So...
But don't tell me any context, because when I started learning a little bit about Louis Soir, I only learned 2 things. We went to go get to like a cutscene with just his voice. I had to cover my ears and cover my eyes and go la 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 until he started talking, just so I can get his voice down. Because now I'm using a Louis Soir character in my D&D campaign. That is the point of all this. But I learned that, and I learned randomly that Louis Soir is related to Alphino and Alicia, bitch. And that only makes me hate them more. Why couldn't you be cool like Grandpa? Because for a while, Thancred made a line about Louis Soir, and I thought he was related to him. But I guess not. And I'm like, oh, well, this Louis Soir guy must have been some super cool badass leader. And I guess he is. Damn.
I'm just shrugging my shoulders. Okay.
That's all you need to do.
So I'm not going to give you any context, but I will say, I'm not going to give you any plot context for what is going on in the trailer that you ended up seeing.
Yeah, blame YouTube for that. Don't blame my roommate. Don't blame... If you want to blame me, but literally blame YouTube, because this is the same shit they pulled when I fucking fought Sans.
Will do. But what I am gonna give you context for is the trailer in itself, because the part you got to see up until where Louis smiles and things gets very white. That was so everyone knows the Final Fantasy 14 shat the fucking bed when it first came out. And so all of a sudden they just announced we're gonna fucking reboot this shit. People didn't know what was gonna happen. So all of a sudden, one day, music starts playing in the game. On everywhere you are, on every server, music starts playing. The skies are getting more and more red and dark. And all of a sudden, in one location, this big orb comes through the sky. And it comes further and further down, and then all of a sudden, these servers go down. And this trailer that you saw comes out. And so, the part where Louis smiles and everything goes white, that originally goes to a scene where the front figure of Final Fantasy is like now in a new place and things are better and shit like that. And it's the reveal trailer for Final Fantasy 14: A Realm Reborn. The part after that is something that you only get access to after doing a specific raid. So up to the point where he smiles, that is actually information that is fine that you have, because that is something that happened before A Realm Reborn. It is everything after that is spoilery.
Okay. I mean, I felt like you know, it's funny. They talked about like the apocalypse and the calamity or whatever the fuck we're gonna call it. And like I knew that was just an allegory for the old version of Final Fantasy 14. It's fucking obvious. Because, you know, the whole game of Realm Reborn hinges on the fact that the first iteration of the game shat the bed. It's literally a Realm Reborn that's, you know, obvious. But the way it's done, it is impressive. It's just, I did not know this person. Oh, I have no idea. I mean, I have a little bit of an idea because I was just assuming and I'm talking, but I'm like, okay, I want to like just go into this and explain something, like why I'm kind of fascinated with 14. I love bad media. I love watching bad media, and I love thinking, how can I do it better? Like, Final Fantasy 14 is the epitome of that. Where you took something that was poorly done, poorly written, nobody fucking liked, but there was still beautiful, massive gems that could be done something with it. And then they took all the good things, and they put it into their new game, and literally, you could hear the dick sucking of this game for miles. And I'm like, this is like the fantasy everybody has when they see like shows like High Guardian Spice or Ruby or fucking like even fucking what's their face, like when those remakes when they take a beloved property and fuck shit the bed. This is what everyone imagines in their head, what they want to do when they reboot something, and Final Fantasy 14 is like the only one that actually pulled it off. And you know what I mean?
In flying colors, absolutely.
Yeah. So it is the fantasy realized, which the more I play this game, the more I like understand that, and I am hyped for.
It's definitely nice to see that you are having so much fun with it. Again, because as we talked about last time, A Realm Reborn is typically associated with being like the worst.
Like, I don't mind A Realm Reborn, honestly. It's here's the way I think about it. It is a 50 level tutorial.
Yeah.
It is,
and you played.
I have played literally the whole game is the tutorial.
Yeah.
I love it, but it's like like to make another example, like I've played Kingdom Hearts, which is also an infamous 4-hour tutorial before the actual game starts. I played Monster Hunter, where the entire first campaign is the tutorial. I don't mind like strapping myself in, spending 165 hours, and that's a specific number, but it's 165 hours into learning something before I drop it and move on to something else. I want to see what everyone loves something and give it its fair shot before I decide it's not for me.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I absolutely get that.
Like if I were a reviewer, I don't think I'd have it in me to like make a review on a movie I dropped no matter how bad it was.
No.
Like I would talk about it on a podcast, but I would never like review something unfinished. Like if I were to do Homestuck, I would make sure I tackle every facet of that thing and make a 10-hour diatribe than to like, talk about bits and pieces no matter how long it is, because I want to see why people love it, and if I'm gonna be fair to 14, I'm going to give it its fair shake. And to be fair, it's not even that bad. No. I mean, in my personal opinion, like my motherfucker, my avatar's a MapleStory character, and I was playing before the Big Bang. I know how to grind. It's okay.
I think that a lot of it is also just because when you play a Realm Reborn, it's actually not that bad. It is more that when you compare it to how good it gets later, it makes a Realm Reborn look bad in comparison.
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, like, bro. I've caught up to One Piece. Okay. You should be able to think like I'm okay with like rough starts. Although to be fair, I just want to like touch on that real quick. There was like a letter written by the author talking about how he's excited to finally get to this point. How he mentioned like he had a dream as a child to make a story where the end was the best part, and he basically just flat out said everything we've done up to this point is setup. It only took 25 years, but I can finally start the story.
25 years of setup. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. So that's a bold claim, so I'm excited to see where we're gonna go.
God, I just realized that now that I don't have a job anymore, I'm gonna be fucking binging the shit out of One Piece. Holy fuck.
Oh yeah, like I said, you've made it past the hurdle that was everything before Penis Lobby. Fuck! Enos Lobby!
It's weird how they call it that.
It's so weird. You just literally put the P there. The water, like the 7 in Water 7 kind of looks like a P, so my brain just always immediately goes to degeneracy. But like I said, for shame. Like I like setup and a slow start, a story that doesn't grab me has never stopped me from trying to enjoy a story before, and I think that's what's definitely helping me, keeping me go through Realm Reborn. Although I also do want to point out that I'm starting at a very good time because my friend, like my roommate, they've played 14 really early. I don't know if they were like one of the first from like the first game, but like they just, it's weird. The Realm Reborn seems a lot faster than it used to be.
Oh yeah.
So I'm probably going through an even more expedited experience than what you had to go through. So
they full on because like a lot of it is literally just, hey, look, here's this place, and this place is used for this, and then they realize, you know what, we never actually paid off like this place in any big capacity. So let's just patch this quest out.
Okay.
So it is much shorter than it used to be.
Which is still pretty long, surprisingly. But again, I'm fine with it. Oh yeah, okay, so this is also just a thing I just realized for a character I do like, which is embarrassing for me to say. I like Momody, the little Lalafell quest hall person.
Oh yeah, she's adorable.
And she's adorable, and it's like, I don't know. I always had like a soft spot for like, you know, like in RPGs, the mom character who has to stay behind at home and like, oh, I'm cheering for you. And there's like a little scene where she gives the exact same copy paste thing to all adventurers, and you see her walk up to you. Like she's greeting a new adventure, saying the exact same thing word for word that she told us at the start. And then she turns and was like, "Oh, a character, you're here. That's great." And I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of wholesome." I know people would probably be weirded out by that, but I don't know. I like it. I think it's endearing.
I had this moment, and I think I mentioned it in a video before or something, where I always hated the cutesy rootsy character, and the only one that really like stood out that I actually had like some kind of for was Nanako.
Nanako.
Yeah, of course. It's got to be Nanako. And then when I came into Final Fantasy 14, I'm like, oh, fucking look at these dumb fucking potatoes. What the fuck is this shit? Like trying to be, oh, big manly man. And then you meet, I forget her name. You literally just said it.
Momedy.
And I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, she's actually pretty cute. But then you meet, I'm just going to throw the name out here because if you don't know them, it doesn't mean anything to you. But then you meet Tataru.
Oh, I know. Like, I've met Tataru.
And the game just changes. Because I'm like, yeah, fuck these potatoes. And then you meet Mamadi, and like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Then you meet Tataru. And I'm like, I've known Tataru for 5 minutes. And if anything was to happen to her, I'm going to kill everyone around me and then myself.
I will literally start a second apocalypse if anything bad happens to Tataru.
I will make the fucking calamity look like a goddamn game of soccer.
That's basically what it was. Oh my god, Louis Swan just like basically bapped it with his hands.
I'm gonna create Final Fantasy 14, a Realm Reborn.
No, like, honestly, like, Tataru is, like, so cute. She's adoptable. She is just precious little bean that is, like, the secretary for these big, important people, and she just wants to do a good job, and I'm like, good job. It's just, like, I don't know. There's something about, like, Mamadi that I just like, she's like, motherly, but not really motherly, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It's more like... Like, you know, like, she basically is like, listen, I'm just here to make sure everyone comes back alive, do a good job, and make sure they do their best. And I'm like, oh, that's a certain kind of thing that hits me specifically.
I get that. The cool thing about Tataru is that they understood how awesome and lovable she is. So like they keep. And they never stop doing this. Even from Realm Reborn, they just keep doing it little by little, so it's not like forced down your throat. But they keep making like these small little pokes that makes her unique from everyone else. There's a point where you have to return to the Waking Sands, and as you pass, and you would just pass her, and I don't even think you have to talk to her, and Tataru is just standing on one of the chairs, and she's juggling. Frying pans and knives and shit. Oh. There's no reason for it. There's no explanation for it. She's just doing it. And it's like, that's fucking cute as shit.
Tatsuru, didn't know you know how to juggle. Precious.
Well, she has to juggle a fuck ton.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like, I'm honestly giving it its fair shake. There's a lot to not like. Not a lot to like. There's a lot to love, and there's like a few things to not like. Like, you know, little nitpicks, but that's usually just for fun. Honestly, okay. If you haven't canceled me before, you're going to cancel me right the fuck now. I use a controller.
I know. You told me that last week.
I know, but it's like, I found out there's a setting in the controller's menu that just goes to auto-target. Because the biggest gripe I've had with this fucking game is being a DPS without an AoE, and you are getting swarmed by mobs, and having to target and retarget and use your skills is a fucking pain in my goddamn thumb. And it's like, oh, we have this auto target feature. You can turn it on, and the game is fun again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why wasn't this on to begin with? And I found out it's because it fucks with raids. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Because then you might target your friends.
Yeah. If you play with the keyboard and mouse, you can use tab, and it will like cycle through everything that you're looking at. So it's good that they have like an alternative for controllers.
Yeah. Which honestly, it's not the best, but it still works. And as far as like solo content is concerned, until I get like my full AoE at level what? I think it's 60. I get it.
Oh yeah, you get the Kamehameha.
I do get the Kamehameha. It's gonna take a while, but I will get it.
You're gonna get something else.
Oh no! Well, no. I actually have to double check my skills, but it's like no. I get the Kamehameha at level 50, but it's not a Kamehameha anymore. It's like it's fucking weird. They do go back to the martial thing. I learned about like perfect balance and how the chakras work, and it's basically I shoot like at first I shoot an energy beam down and explode everything. Yeah. Then like I do a bunch of like rolling combos, and then like my finisher is like I get on my hands and knees, do a fucking breakdance windmill kick, and then everybody around me dies, which I think is fucking hype.
Yeah, so that spin that you just mentioned, that's just another one of your combo moves. Like that's not a special move. It's not a special move in any way. It's just another combo move.
No, I'm pretty sure it's like because that's the thing for monks that it's locked behind the new chakra thing. Because I saw what the old one looks like and I saw the new one. I'm like, oh. Okay,
that must be new then, because I have a level 80 monk and I haven't seen that.
Are you sure? Because it's like it's the okay. So like there's like the beast chakras and then the lunar chakra and the solar chakra. I'm pretty sure the thing that's locked behind after you get the whole combo going with all the chakras is that tornado kick.
Again, because again, it's been a while since the last touch monk, but maybe it's patched in. But the way that I had it set up is that you can have I have because like it always goes in threes. Because like you have the 3 different stances. So I have one that's just like damage. Then I have status. So you know, like either it buffs me, it debuffs the opponent, or it does the damage over time. And then I have one that is AoE. And one of those AoEs is you get on your hands and then you start spinning around.
Yeah.
So it
okay. The AoE spinning around one, there is one like that. That is true.
But there's a different one then I can understand.
Yeah, there is a different one because yeah. They told me like the beast chakra were like recently added. I don't know if it was added in Endwalker at the end of Shadowbringers, but it is literally just called tornado kick. It is the thing that's hidden behind all the fucking chakras. And it's just big damage, big buffs, big everything, and cool spinny kickies.
Well, you just schooled my ass in Final Fantasy 14, and you've been playing it for a week?
About a week, yes.
That's fucking cool.
It is possible it was changed in the recent Endwalker patches. Class moves got redistributed across levels, so it's all ass dump post Stormblood. Yeah, no, definitely. That is the case. I can hear Lasse's favorite birds, the seagulls outside his house again.
Okay, so I'm gonna go transition into some things, unless that you have more that you want to talk about Final Fantasy about.
Let me try to like again. The only reason I know this much in depth, being only level 30, is because I got curious and I'm like, okay, how crazy does this game get? So I watched like crazy. From level 1 to 90, what the monk guide is. And even at the beginning of the monk guide, they said, okay, listen, this is a very recent video. I had to remake it because monk is the most fucked with class in this game. It keeps fucking changing. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. So in this iteration, it might even change after I get to this point. But basically, it's just like, okay, so here's how your new chakra gauge works. Here's how your AoE combo is going to look like. Here's like an example of your string, but as long as you remember your forms, you can basically do whatever the fuck you want. How about major monk changes in the near future too? I am expecting it, because I will be honest, because like the quote-unquote competitive combo string, the optimal, which I don't really care about, because I'm not even there yet, but it's like status, chakra, your big chakra punch, perfect balance, then you do your combos with dragon kick and boot shine over and over again, and then you get your gauges filled up, and then you do a different combo string, and then you do your big tornado kick, and then you go back to your 2-2-3 rotation. Monk's complicated now. I'm happy with it.
I'm just proud that like not only are you remembering the names, but you also like to. It makes my heart warm. Okay.
I'm a sucker for combos. I love this shit.
So I'm gonna transition now because Shane mentioned that he could hear the favorite seagulls outside of my house again. So I had an episode last week, which was fucking weird. I come home from work. And I have an elevator and then like a walkway that goes to my apartment. And so as I'm walking on the walkway, I see this fucking seagull, a young seagull apparently. And I'm like, that thing is very docile. Like it's not moving that far away when I'm walking, and it's just like standing there. It's not flying away or anything. That's interesting. All right. So I go inside and I collect my laundry. And I go out to hang up my laundry, and the seagull is still there. I hang up my laundry, come back, seagull's still there. I then go and get my bag, and then I go and meet my girlfriend at the store, and we go buy groceries. And as I go out, it's still there. When we come back, it's still there. Now I'm confused, because it's been there for over an hour.
Jesus.
But, I try not to think too much about it. Then 2 more hours pass, and I have to go out with trash. It's still there.
Oh.
Now I'm interested. Like I'm like I look it over. There's no injuries or anything. I'm like asking my girlfriend like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with this? And she's like, I don't fucking know. Then I have some sausage, like some pretty like fine sausage that I like it's getting to the point where I don't want to eat it because it's not old, but it's in that period where it's about to get old. So I like cut some slices of it and I like give it to the bird, and he fucking noms that shit like bam bam bam. He fucking loves it.
He's not dead, thank God.
No, he's not dead. He's not. It's not. Again, it's not old sausage. It's just like I don't want to eat it, but the birds, they don't fucking care. They fucking eat trash. And then I feed him, and then I come back, still there. We eat dinner, and I like check on him every now and again. I'm like texting Alice because like she's a fucking Wikipedia when it comes to animals, and she's like, if he doesn't look injured or anything, and I like take pictures and send to her. It's like, no, he looks fine. And like like when we go to bed, I check out the window. She's still fucking there. The next morning, and I have to go to work, he's still fucking there. And then when I come home from work, he is now moved down the stairs to the apartments downstairs. And then I'm like, that's interesting. And then Saturday, because like this was Thursday and then Friday, so now the day after I last saw him, I have to go to the store again, and I'm like, checking every floor to see if I can find him, and now he's just gone. So I think he's fine. But that was fucking weird that he was like, again, he had no injuries or anything. I just don't think that he knew how to fly yet, and he was just fucking chilling.
I love this like connection you had with the seagull.
I named him Aina.
Aina. Oh. I hope in your hour of need, Aina comes and rescues you.
Me too.
That would be wholesome.
But if anyone wants to, draw fan art of Aina, where could they send that fan art?
You can send that fan art to webcastrelief at gmail.com.
Did you say release?
So that said Webcast Relief.
Did you say Webcast Release?
I'm sorry. I said Webcast Relief at gmail.com.
There you go.
Am I slurring? I feel like I'm slurring.
A little bit.
Maybe thin over soup. That was my bad. I'm sorry. I'm a bit thirsty.
That's right.
If you want to make fun of my pronunciations, where can they send messages to make fun of me specifically?
They can make fun of you at Webcast Release. No, fuck, not doing it. At webcastrelief at gmail.com.
Amazing.
Alice said, it was a young fledgling, could tell from the color of his feathers. Old enough to leave the nest, but not old enough to be flying yet. He wouldn't been waddling around waiting for his wings to strengthen. He wouldn't have been abandoned. His parents would have been in the territory keeping an eye on him.
Aww. Awesome. Okay. So, the first question comes from Shane O'Brien. And they say, Shane and Lasse and Cloudy, how are you doing? Well, I have some questions for you that both involve Japanese games and game makers, and no, it's not on your favorite ones, Nomura, lol. Question 1. Are you aware of the news that people, like a Greek news example channel, are using images of Hideo Kojima and claiming he killed the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy and shitty. They're claiming that he's the killer, and it's almost like they are out to get him, like DSP when he plays his games. So first part of his question is, have you heard Hideo Kojima killed fucking Prime Minister Shinzo Abe?
Okay, I knew that. Did you hear that?
I did hear that, yeah.
It was fucking, like, they have a fucking picture of Hideo Kojima in a fucking cowboy hat, which he was doing an event where he's playing 1-2 Switch. And they're like, oh, look at this fucking gunman. And it's like, he's holding a fucking Switch Joy-Con.
I saw a hilarious tweet where it was like, imagine Hideo Kojima's face where he's going on Twitter and saying, saw the Minions movie. And then he sees that he's trending for killing the Prime Minister.
Yeah, I saw something similar to being like, imagine being Hideo Kojima just coming off binge watching Flubber in 4K or some shit on Blu-ray and then coming back to see that he is being accused of killing the Japanese Prime Minister.
I really hope that all this just blows under water as one big joke and nothing bad actually happens. Because that's like... That is one fucked up case of mistaken identity, I tell you what.
It gets fucking even more ridiculous because the people who misreported this has not, from what I've read, has not come out and been like, oh, okay, we did the dumb. They're fucking double dipping in this thing. Like they're just going, oh yeah, this is the dude. Meanwhile, Kojima Productions official Twitter account has been like going out, hey, Kojima didn't fucking kill anyone, and we here at Kojima Production don't appreciate these fucking like this false reporting, and will be looking into legal actions.
Oh god,
like fucking. Oh my god! It is the funniest thing is that it's about Kojima. Like, had it been anyone else, it would just have been like a sad thing. Like, oh man, fuck, this is just poor. But because Kojima is such a dumb fucking idiot and he's such a meme, it's just fun to see. Like, what the fuck is the guy who is like buying Flubber on Blu-ray DVD and talking at length on Twitter about how it made his penis hard to watch Flubber or some shit? How the fuck is he gonna kill the Japanese Prime Minister?
He's gonna make him watch the Minions movie with him.
Yeah, like you could probably see it if like Nagoshi, like the dude behind the Yakuza series, if he had done it, because like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe there's some actual Yakuza ties or something. But no, it's it's the guy whose latest game was a fucking overhyped delivery game. Like, fuck.
It's basically his love letter to Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus.
Yeah, and Mads Mikkelsen.
And that's yeah. That was a crazy thing. I don't think anything crazy is gonna, like, anything else is gonna come out of it. Hopefully, there's no real ramifications. But it's just a silly thing. I don't think it's not. It's just a thing one and done in the pan. I don't think there's gonna be. He's not gonna be put on death row or some shit. Thankfully.
Like considering that this is global news and only one news source was like, oh, it's this dude who did it. When everyone else actually has fucking photographic evidence of the guy, I don't think anything is gonna happen other than this one Greek or whatever company is gonna be a laughingstock.
Yep. Okay. Our next question is that this one's more for Lasse, so I'm probably gonna go and use the bathroom while you're talking about it.
Oh shit.
But what is your opinion on Deadly Premonition with Agent York's creepy rape face smile? Do you think it's a bad game, or has it changed over the years and we find ourselves playing the new one when Agent York goes around the state of Louisiana on a skateboard? So how's Deadly Premonition?
Alright, you go take a piss. I think that we have on this podcast talked at length about like the whole thing of like being weird for the sake of being weird. Like we talked about No More Heroes, how like 1 and 2 were this genuine game that just had some weird stuff in it, but like underneath there was still like this attempt at a genuine game. And then No More Heroes 3 came out, and it just felt like it was leaning into the dumb and the weird. Deadly Premonition feels very much like No More Heroes 1 and 2 in that this feels like genuine. This doesn't feel like this was someone who was leaning into the dumb. This is someone who, honest to God, think like they were doing a really good game, and it just turned out to be the fucking weirdest, silliest, dumbest fucking thing I've ever fucking seen. And I can't hate, like, when I first played it, and I think there's even some videos on my Let's Play channels where I recorded it, where I had this thing like, oh, I'm so fucking smart, and I'm oh so clever, and so I'm just gonna rip on this shit. When I initially played it, I was very much like ripping it, but in hindsight, it's just like, this is fucking like fun how dumb and poor it is. I love the fact that the game runs at a steady frame rate of like 15. I love that the music is goddamn awful for the most part. I love that there's horrible artifacting and the gameplay is repetitive. I love that you can accidentally do a side quest in which you have to investigate a ghost and get a submachine gun with infinite ammo that just basically breaks the game. Like, it is such a fucking poorly made game, but it's a poorly made game with its heart in the right place. So honestly, I think that's cool. I don't, and it's kind of like Birdemic in that too was a movie where, and The Room for that matter, where those are movies where the director, honest to God, thought that they were making something great. And then it just became a fucking dumb meme. And at least for Birdemic's case, they then went and did a sequel where they tried to lean into the dumb. But then it's not as charming because what was appreciated was the earnesty of trying to actually make a good thing that just happened to be incredibly out of touch and poorly made. So I definitely enjoyed, and I think that the with the game being so weird and being so confusing, being so pants on head stupid as it is, I think that it managed to just hit the fucking nail on the head of how weird series like Twin Peaks were. Because like Twin Peaks, when you fucking sit down and watch it, that's fucking weird. But again, just like Deadly Premonition, there is sincerity and there is earnesty of someone actually trying to tell something here that just happens to also sometimes be fucking weird and dumb.
Oh.
But yeah, so for that reason, I'm not really like in any hurry to play Deadly Premonition 2 because I worry that they're leaning into the dumb. Because that tends to be the case.
I have no opinions of Deadly Premonition. I've never played it.
Well, so I actually thought that question too, because like there's been another news story about like a Japanese creator that I thought that was pretty interesting. Most of all because I don't actually know that much about it. And I think that you actually know a little more about it, which is that Ken Akamatsu, Mr. Love Hina,
Oh yeah,
has gotten a political position or something.
Yeah. The long and short of it is, this is a man who has been fucked over by many kind of like powers and agencies and laws over the rights of his creations in the past. So this man went from mangaka to fighter for mangaka's rights, because now that he's on board, he wants to his entire platform was basically so creators aren't going to get fucked over by entities and they can like, you know, actually profit from the things that they're making. Because like the legal systems in Japan is corrupt as fucking shit. Like you want to know how companies like Shueisha and like Shonen Jump and like every basic thing that like basically owns all these stories and make all these fucking monies, and you hear stories about like mangaka who are like living in one room apartments, slaving away on like the most suicidal work schedule.
Yeah.
He wants to change that essentially.
Good.
Yes. So yes, I all love and hope that this man stays on the righteous and narrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else you got to say about that?
No, it was just like that happened, and I realized I know nothing about it. So thank you for filling me in.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll be honest, I have not read Love Hina, and I think he made Negima. I don't actually know for sure. I might be confusing another person. Okay, yeah, Love Hina and Negima, and like it's one of those things where it's like I am a person who I know in the past I've definitely bitched and moaned about how hard it is to want to like anime, like, or want to be like a fucking mangaka, because they're in this position where you'd think with all the fucking work they're putting in and how much creator control there is, it's surprising how little actual rights or power you have as a mangaka. Because your property is basically not yours once you hit a certain margin. Because once your shit is valuable, they want to do everything that it's not in you, the creator's hands. They just write the story, but they can't profit off it as much. Unless you're like, you either have to be within a certain level of poverty where they don't even care about it, or you want to be super rich, they don't want to lose you. But like that big middle grade, it sucks to be in there.
I have heard many stories about how fucked the Japanese system is about those things. So I never knew how bad it actually was, but that's rough.
Oh yeah, it is pretty rough. Although I know nothing about like Western comics and stuff, but I learned a little thing that's like there are two different flavors of horrendously awful. Because on the one hand, you have this big, tight-fisted battle of rights, and on the West side, it's so hard to be in the American Western comic industry unless you're involved in some weird incestuous slurry with a bunch of other promoters or some shit. It's all this one big, weird, exclusive club of nepotism, and I hate it. But that's a story for another day when I do more research on it. But we have one more question. And this one's an old one from KHV, Vathiel.
Oh.
And they write, they say last week was talking about sushi, now it's pizza. and this was sent back in April 2nd of 2022. So sorry for missing this. We had a lot of questions come in, but they're talking about, hey, if you had a lifetime of pizza or a weekend feast of pizza, you can have 3 different kinds, but what would you have? They say personally they like salad pizza, that has meats, veggies, and banana peppers, and feta cheese, and they didn't give any other examples. But what are your 3 favorite flavors of pizza, my friend?
Alright. So, I'm gonna give one. Dumb simple. Tomato, cheese, ham. There you go. Well, of course, like oregano and all that shit, but I assume that is a given. That's one. And then I want the fucking meat lover. The fucking, like...
That's one of mine as well.
Any permutation of pig and beef that you can put on this motherfucker.
Basically, yeah. And honestly, if you put a chicken on there, I would not disagree.
No, and then you put on some chili oil and some dressing. Fire. The third one... Good shit. Is the reason why I have spent several days in a bathroom because I am lactose intolerant, apparently. I get the shits when I get milk, apparently. Anyway, is I think they call it UFO. It's a pizza with spaghetti and ham on it, and then you double the cheese on it. And then you wrap it around itself so it becomes like this bread dome of sorts. And then you bake it in the oven. It is dumb delicious. So those 3.
It's like you described a spaghetti calzone with extra steps, and I love it.
I think it is a calzone. I forgot the word.
I still love it though. Yeah. I mean, a calzone is basically just a closed pizza.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a spaghetti ham double cheese calzone.
I love it. Oh. Well, honestly, that sounds fucking fantastic, and I could go for one right now.
Right?
Yeah. Like, okay, going back, I love, I do love meat lovers as well. Just any, listen, there are things that are cooked, smoked, or whatever. Put that shit on my cheese bread.
Yes.
The second one is something like my roommate and I like, because like they brought it into me when I tried it, and it's like this like white cheese, spinach, and I think there's also ham on it. It's fucking great. I love it. It's like it's got this tang shit that's on it. It's great, but I can't remember. I'd want that, and I don't have like a wild one. But like I had like a fucking I don't know if I was fucking high or having a meltdown, but I had this like ginormous pizza that I ate for a week because I just decided I don't want to spend money on going to the grocery store. So I'll just eat this mega thing for 40 people for one person over a week. And I did that. I did that twice, and it was just you could almost say it's an everything on it pizza because it had like every kind of meat I found. It was broccoli, red onions, barbecue sauce, corn. I never called it anything. I just like there was like peppers and tomatoes, and I didn't even like that, but I guess they added it anyway, and I still ate it. It was just all this fucking shit on the pizza, and I just ate it, and I just call it a fucking mess.
Nice.
Yeah.
The pizza place that I used to be a waiter for, they had a special pizza, and I'm kind of sad that I forgot about it when mentioning those 3, but it's an honorary mention because that one is ham, chicken, pulled pork in like barbecue sauce, with cheddar cheese on top of it.
That's some good shit right there.
That is the goodest shit. But before we close off, I actually have a funny story to tell about pizza, inspired by what you just like that mess that you just mentioned. My friend, my old boss at Nondescript Video Game Retailer, he one time ordered a pizza where he was like, they asked him, okay, what do you want on this pizza? And he's like, okay, I'm gonna just like mention shit that I want on it. So it's like one of those make your own pizza kind of things. And I don't recall what exactly it was that he ordered, but he like it was something kind of wild, like something that's not going together at fucking all. And so they're like, yeah, sure, it'll be there in whatever. And then they come and they bring him the pizza. And I think it was when he had just moved to the city that I live in now. So he was like trying this new place. He's brought this pizza and he opens it, and sure enough there is a pie in there. But next to it, in one of the corners, is a bag of weed, of marijuana.
Oh.
And he's like, what in the fuck? And it turns out, because like then after he had lived in the city a little more and talked with his friends about it, and they were like, oh yeah, when you mentioned this combination, that's code for weed. Apparently this pizzeria has like a fucking attachment to some like drug dealer thing. So they had just assumed that like they get paid a certain amount, and then like every time someone just calls and makes this specific combination of food, it is code word for I'm a client, give me my weed. And then they function as a distributor and bring the weed out. So that was interesting. And my boss, he explained that when he like opened it, he was like, "Is this the fucking oregano? Or what the fuck?
Is this the fucking oregano?
Like, why are they putting it in a bag next to it?"
You just look at him and it's like, "Yo, I just want the pizza. You can have the weed."
Well, like I don't know what the custom. I've seen it in movies in America that like you get the pie and then you open it and you close it and then you say thank you and then you go in. We don't do that in Denmark. We just thank you, take the box and then bring it in, and first then do we open it.
I'm pretty sure like if you open it before you are handed the pizza, you're basically, they only do that in movies to be dramatic, and we don't do that in America. That's just that's just asking to get like pulled up by the cops. That looks shady as shit.
Yeah, I mentioned it before that I used to go to school in the city that I live in now, and they would like it. Okay, when I went to school, that's a good distance away from where I am currently, but that was like the rough part of this city. So like there was drug dealings and shootings and all that shit. But even now, when I'm in the nicer part of the city, I'm still seeing fucking like try hard drug deals happening in broad fucking daylight. You know, like when people come from completely separate parts of the sidewalk and give each other that one handshake that takes a little too long, and they try not to make eye contact, and then they just like pass each other like nothing happened. Like, I wonder what the fuck happened there.
Oh god. Oh god.
Yeah. Luckily,
that's a way to end the story.
Luckily, in Denmark, we don't have a lot of like drug wars in terms of like shooting. People just beat the shit out of each other.
I think that's more barbaric. I think it's less harmful to the world at large.
It's a lot more manly man than just grabbing a gun and shoot someone like a pussy. So the people who do that would probably not like that chick from The Waking Sands. Oh wait, no, that's not what it's called. The Lalafell. Fuck it. It's too hot to make a finishing joke right now. So thank you guys for joining the podcast, and we will see you guys next time. Are you with me?
Bye, everybody. I'm here. Sorry, it just the moment we ended the podcast, I just got like an influx of messages of like, oh shit, good timing, everybody.
All right, see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.